Hello, Edmonton Crossroads Community Church. I come to you today back here in Edmonton after a difficult week, but a good week, where lots of people have reached out and have cared for me and my family and shown a great deal of love. But there's been lots of memories posted on social media, emails and cards, people remembering my mom and her acts of kindness and how much she cared for people. And interesting, in Mark chapter 8, as I was reading Mark chapter 8, that's what we're on this week, we have a few stories that Mark records. And once again, there was one about feeding people. Amazing how that feeding people keeps coming up in the gospel accounts, and feeding 4,000 people. And Jesus saying to his disciples, let's feed people. And then people, I talked about this in our worship set, people want a sign. People say, like, show us the big things, God. And even now we sometimes want God to do the big things and say, show us the miraculous ways to know that you are God. And Jesus didn't buy into that. He's like, no, don't buy into that yeast. Don't let that get into your mix of what you're about to do. It's not about the big things. It's about how you walk. And so then he walks and he heals a man born blind. And it's a double healing where the man doesn't see clearly. He sees people walking around like trees. And Jesus reaches out and puts his hand over the man's eyes, and then the man can see clearly. And sometimes we need just a bit more clarity of what God is calling us to. And as we look at how Jesus walked, we see that. We see that the human walking, God becoming flesh, showing us what we didn't get, was that we walk caring for others around us. And Jesus said it would be a road of suffering, not a road of glory. It wouldn't be that everything would be like you'd ride in and triumph and everybody would be cheering, yay, yay, woo, this is how it goes, this is, you are awesome, you. No, it wouldn't be the cheers of the crowds. It would be a road of suffering. And in fact, Jesus was trying to let his followers know that it'd be a road that would lead to a cross. And he actually says, anyone who wants to walk the road with me must turn away from their own path and carry their own cross as they follow me to the place of ultimate sacrifice. The ones who hold on to their lives will not find life, but the ones who are willing to let go of their lives for me and for the good story I bring will find the true life. I remember one of my last conversations with my mom. She was saying, oh, I wish you were closer. I wish you were closer, Karen, so we could, see each other. And then she said, but I gave you to God. And God called you to be a Salvation Army officer, which meant that you wouldn't live near me. And she said that was the right thing to do, even though she was lonely and wished we could be there. She acknowledged that that road of suffering was real. She was lonely sometimes when us as children had moved away, 3 going off to be Salvation Army officers and living other places in the country, even as we aged, that her children were not there. But she understood the calling God placed on her life when she knelt and changed her life in a dramatic fashion, her and Dad. And they walked caring for others. My mom cared for others. People have written comments about her apple pies. And they remember eating those. Somebody asked for the pie pastry recipe. Different people, different places, all around our world. Remember when we care for each other. Jesus was calling us simply to care for others on the good road. And in that way, we give up our own life, our own selfishness, the way we want to walk. Because caring for others means giving of ourselves, giving of our time, giving of our resources, giving of the things we want to do to make ourselves look good and better. Caring for others changes our world. I have a couple blankets here. My mom, right up till the end, she was making blankets. Her last blanket she really wanted to give away was for her great-grandchild yet to be born in the next few weeks. And she made a blanket for that great-grandchild. But my mom made blankets for kids who didn't have grandparents around. Young moms who were having babies disconnected from their families. My mom, right up to the end, made blankets to give away to others. Oh, that we would live thinking of others and caring for others on the good road. I believe we would see God's kingdom come on earth. This week, I invite you to look around you. Look at the people God places in your path. And as you walk the good road, may you care for others. It will be a journey that doesn't lead to glory. Sometimes will lead to a cross. But it will be walking the good road. God bless you, and may you care for others this week.